Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today I have the first place deck profile from game day number 1 at the castle. It was actually my deck, the Abzan Midrange. So go ahead and get right into it and show it. Let me see if I can back my camera up a little bit. First we have 4 Thoughtseize for the 1-drops. That was the only 1-drop. So yeah, super good card, super solid. Pretty standard, I suppose. 2 Dromoka's command. Only 2, and I main decked them, not side decked them, because I know some people side deck them, but I prefer them in the main. I thought that would be more beneficial. I knew I was going to be fighting a lot of mono red, which I did. Rounds 2 through 4 were all mono red aggro, so this card was super good against them for the first part, you know, prevent damage from instant or sorcery, and then the last part to fight some of their creatures. So those were super good. Might should have sideboarded a third one almost. 2 ultimate price. Kill monocolored creatures, you know, good for versus the aggro decks. I was expecting possibly a rally deck, but that didn't happen. Instead, I ended up fighting Constellation, so go well. Which was a horrible matchup. It was super hard for me because of it. But 2 Bile Blights for like the tokens. I knew there was going to be some red decks still playing with the token build or whatever, and still good spot removal. Plus, like for the Thopter decks as well, it's really good. So, 2 Nissas. I don't even know if I have a third one or not, but I feel like 2 is a good number regardless. I mentioned because I think some people play 3. I just like 2. 2 is fine. I usually side them out against like the red aggro decks and stuff, just because I mean she's a 2 toughness. They're gonna Searing Blood her anyways, so she doesn't do a whole lot against them, in my opinion, in my experience. But 3 Coursers. Might should have played 4, but I always found that 3 was good for me. So I kind of stuck with that. I don't know what I would take out for the 4th one necessarily. But we got 3 Heroes Downfalls, you know, solid kill spell. Good spot removal for a creature or planeswalker at instant speed, so 3 Abzan Charms. I think some people play 4. I think 3 is plenty as well. It's, I mean, with a game like Magic where you're playing 60 card decks, it's all about ratios and proportions and everything, and you find the number that you like, I guess. And I tend to like 3 for a lot of things, except for this thing. I like 4. Siege Rhino. I absolutely love this card. This is supposed to be that art, but oh well. Or at least it was supposed to be a playset of this art, but whatever. Sorry for the OCD people. I'm also a little bothered by it. But yeah, Siege Rhino, powerhouse card. The whole reason I play Abzan. I absolutely love this card. Everything about it. It's awesome. So 2 Languish. I think 2 is a fair number on this card. I mean, I don't know. I think 2 for the main deck is a fair number, I should say, just because as far as the decks in standard, it's good against give or take half of them, maybe a little bit more, but it's then again not so great against like any other control or mid-range decks, more or less. So 2 is a fair amount. You don't want to have too many dead cards against other matchups. 1 Whip. This might be a little strange, I guess. I don't know if other people are playing or not, but I always like the Whip because, I mean, giving my field lifelink against aggro or burn decks is huge, and being able to revive these Siege Rhinos, or like a Nissa and then flipping her and stuff like that, it causes for some pretty great stuff. This has been a great win condition for me against other control decks because, like, literally I just go through all my Siege Rhinos and bait out the counter spells with those or whatever, and then I just, bam, start whipping them back. So, it's really nice. 1 Dragonlord Dromoka. Also possibly a little strange. I don't know if other people play it or not, but I really enjoy this card. It is great against control decks. It just like wins games by herself. But yeah, so just the one of I like her. But 2 Elspeth. I think some people play 3. I think 2 is fine for the main. I side the 3rd in cases of like control decks or other matchups where I think I need it. But I tried to basically prepare my main deck half and half for like aggro decks or for control decks. So like game 1 going into practically anything, I would just have a generally good matchup. Not necessarily a great matchup, but not necessarily a bad matchup. So it worked out pretty good for me. Going on 1 Garruk Apex Predator. Really like this guy. This man just takes over games by himself. Although on the game day I didn't actually get to use him hardly at all, I don't think. So that's a shame, but I did get to use this man to Ugin Spear Dragon. This card is awesome. That board wipe part was basically the reason that I was able to do so well against the Constellation deck, because that was just all I could do to fight off all those enchantments. I was not prepared for that at all, so Ugins were just huge for me. I actually got to the point of casting against one of the mono red aggro decks too in game 2, I think. So that's it for the main deck of spells, more or less. So onto the lands. I played 26 of them. We had 1 Urborg, so that way make all of our stuff swamps, blah blah blah. Only 2 of the fetch land. I should have played more, but I think 2 is fine just because of the ratios of the basic lands that I'm playing, which I'll get to later. But I'll go ahead and say I'm only playing 3 forest, and Nissa grabs one of those for me. And so, I mean, if I'm too busy searching forest with this and Nissa doesn't grab me a forest, then that's some value I just lost out on. And so, I mean, yeah, just what I thought 2 was a fair amount. 2 Caves of Koilos to have an untapped black-white land, but only 2 of that, and then 2 of Llanowar Wastes, the black-green pain land, just because I don't want to kill myself, which I basically did one game. I don't remember what I was playing against, but 4 Sandsteppe Citadel, because it gives us any of the colors that we need, so it's basically like a rainbow mana. Anyhow it enters tapped, it's amazing. And then I like to play 3 of each of the temples that are within my color. So 3 Temple of Malady, the black-green temple. 3 Temple of Plenty, the green-white temple. And lastly, 3 Temple of Silence, the black-white temple. So that's just me. I like 3 as the ratio. I think that's a fair amount. If I looked into it more and maybe I guess cared more, I might change it up a little, but that's just what I like. It's worked for me so far. So, and 3 forest and 3 plains for the basic lands, like I said. So not like a whole lot of basic lands to search, so that's why I only have the 2 Windswept Heath. And like I said, of course, I want Nissa to grab me 1, and sometimes I've cast multiple Nissas in a game, so. Yep, so that is the main deck. So let me go on to the side deck. Wrap up the video. So we got 2 Arashin Clerics. You know, life gain, early drop, nice body to fight against the aggro decks. 2 Surge of Righteousness. It's a nice little kill spell against the aggro decks. You know, kill off like Goblin Heel Cutters or just Monster Whisperers, anything like that that can be even slightly threatening, and then you gain 2 life. Another good thing for fighting against the aggro decks, whatever. Yeah, I sideboarded the 2 Anafenzas because I was expecting the rally deck. It didn't happen, so that was kind of a waste of a slot. It could have been something better. She wasn't terrible, although I didn't actually ever use her, so oh well. Slot could have been something else, but 2 Drown in Sorrow for, you know, the Thopters, the aggro decks, the token decks, any of that. So it was pretty good for me. 1 Utter End. Really regret only doing 1. Should have stuck with my original opinion and done 2, but because that would have been super helpful against like the Constellation and whatever. But sideboarded the 3rd Languish in case I needed it against the like super heavy token decks like Thopters and stuff. This card's really good against Thopters, assuming they haven't made their dudes 5/5s with the Intel Artifact or anything like that. 2 Liliana Vess for the mid-range control matchups and whatever. And this woman's amazing, amazing. That's the reason I beat the Constellation deck games 2 and 3 was this woman by herself. But 3rd Elspeth, like I said, in sideboard. Yeah, in case of control, mid-range, whatever. The 1 Tasigur in sideboard in case of mid-range control, etc. And then nice little tech that I thought I'd try out. Got the idea from one of my friends to use against like burn decks, aggro decks, whatever like that. Resolute Archangel. This, let me tell you, this card made some people very salty. Very, very salty on the day. Just going down to 1 life against a red deck and then saying, bam, I'm at 20 life. Is that game? I mean, it ended games just by doing that. It was incredible. Absolutely love the card, so I recommend it as one of. It's pretty cool. But so that's it for the deck, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and like it and leave a comment. That'd be nice. So see y'all.